Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Truth Report for this week. I want to return to a subject that we have dealt with at least partially in the past. And I do that because of the strong emphasis on the end times that we're receiving today. This is an aspect of the end times that I have not heard talked about. And it comes to us from the Gospel of Matthew. Gospel of Matthew 23, and this is Jesus excoriating the religious leaders of Jerusalem and of Israel at that time. The 7 woes that comes against the teachers of the law, the Pharisees, and the hypocrites. And then as he closes off his discourse against the religious leaders, he closes with this, broadens his condemnation actually to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And he says this in verse 37, chapter 23 of Matthew, verse 37. "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those who are sent to you. How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. But you were not willing. Look," he says, "look at your house." This is, look at the house of Jerusalem, the house of the Jews. "Look at your house. It's desolate. It's spiritually desolate." And according to the Messiah, it has remained desolate since then. Your house has left you desolate. And then he says this, and this is what I want to emphasize. "I tell you, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, you will not see me again until you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh.'" He is identified with Yahweh, the name of Yahweh, not Adonai, not Lord, not Hashem, but Yahweh. Now, why is that the case? Why is he focusing on that? I think we have the answer from the scriptures himself. In Matthew chapter 26, verse 62, it says, the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, "Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing against you?" But Jesus remains silent. High priest continues. The high priest said to him, "I charge you under oath by the living God, tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." Tell us under oath, are you the Messiah, the Son of the living God? And Jesus' response, "Yes, it is as you say." And then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "He has spoken blasphemy. What do we need any more witnesses? Look now, you've heard the testimony. What do you think? He is worthy of death." And they spit in his face and struck him. He is worthy of death. That's what convicted him. That's what got him crucified, confessing that he was in fact the Son of God and the Messiah. Now that's the way it has been since the time of Jesus, but it will change. It will have to change. We'll not see Jesus until it changes. And Zechariah tells us how that change is going to take place, what it's going to look like. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 1, "On that day, the day of the Lord," that's a discussion in itself. "On that day a fountain will be opened to the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem." The inhabitants of Jerusalem, to cleanse them from sin and impurity. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. A spirit of grace coming down from God, that's its source, and a spirit of supplication that God moves the inhabitants of Jerusalem to pray to Yahweh, to Yahweh. They will look on me, the one that they have pierced. They will mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. That's going to happen. That will happen. That will have to happen before we see the Messiah come. That will happen before Jesus' fulfillment. He said, you will not see me again, the Messiah says, until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. That's the necessary condition, precondition for the coming of the Messiah, as far as the Jews are concerned and as far as the world is concerned. Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. And that is the truth.